Hi class, I'm back to talk about binomial distribution. And binomial distribution is exactly what it implies. Binomial implies only two possible outcomes. So it's the probability of success, the probability of failure. You could think of this as heads or tails. So only two possible outcomes, right? And so the way that this distribution is set up is kind of like the counting principle. The formula that represents it is the probability of X successes out of N trials, right? And so set up very similar, N factorial divided by N minus X factorial times X factorial, and that's multiplied by probability of success to the X power times the probability of failure to the N minus X power, right? And so the example they give you in section 5.2 of your book is about the Orange Lake result. And the Orange Lake Orange Lake resort offers a free golf clinic to all of their guests. And they say that 20% of the guests take the free golf clinic and then enroll in the paid version of the clinic for the rest of their stay, which means that 80% decline, right? And we know this because P and Q, these are complements. And that means, you know what I mean. It's hard with this pen. That means that Q is equal to 1 minus P, right? So these two things together, P and Q together, sum to be 1. So let's talk about some of these examples that they give you. So an example in the book in section 5.2, they talk about how Bob, Kate, and Roger are all at the resort, and let's talk about the probability of 1 out of the 3 of them signing up for the golf trial, right? For the paid version. So the probability of 1 out of the 3, right? So 1 success out of 3 trials, right? So that would be equal to 3 factorial divided by 3 minus 1 factorial times 1 factorial, right? And then that is multiplied by 0.20, and then that'd be 0.80 to the 3 minus 1 power, right? So this is all equal to, so this is 3 to 1, because that's the factorial, and that would be 2, 1 times 1, and that's multiplied by 0.20 times 0.80 to the squared. And that would give us a probability of 0.384. So it's 38.4% chance that one of them would try out for, would sign up for the paid version of the golf clinic. So let's talk about, I love math, and I think I've told you all that I love math before, but let's be realistic. The best way to solve these problems is to use Excel. So I'm going to share with you the Excel formula. I use Excel for these. So the Excel formula for this is it's the binomial distribution, right? So that's what you would type into Excel. There's also a binomial table. And I think the table is antiquated. Why use the table when you could just use Excel? And then, so that's when you type this in, Excel will autofill. But this is, I don't know where that line came from, guys. Sorry. This would be X to the N and P. And then it does this thing called cumulative. So let's talk about this. So this is, like we said before, successes. Number of successes. That's the number of trials. That's the probability of success. And then what this cumulative stands for, this is also described in your book, but let's talk about what it means. If we say it's either true or false. So this line is really bothering me. I really apologize. I don't know. I'm not wearing a ring, so I have no idea where that came from. So if this were false, right, that means we want to know exactly one instance. So if we talked about this instance, we want to know the probability of 1, 3, right? One of the three of them signing up for the golf clinic. So that particular instance was that probability. But if we want to know what was the probability that at least 2 people signed up, right, for the golf clinics, and that would be cumulative. So we want to know the probability. So true would be the probability of X or fewer, right? So we wanted to talk about if at least 2 people signed up, that would be the probability of 0, probability of 1, and the probability of 2, right? If we want to know cumulatively, we would use true. So that's the difference between true or false. This is explained also in your book, so I would strongly advise you read the section of the book, and I hope this video, you find it helpful. All right? I will see you back in one more video for this chapter, and that is the Poisson distribution. We will not be doing the approximation of binomial to Poisson, and we will not be doing I think it's hypergeometric distribution. We're only going to be doing binomial and Poisson in this chapter. All right. If you have any questions.